this conversation.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to Los Artilleros, episode 3. I just want to begin by saying thank you to everyone that watched episodes 1 and 2. I really appreciate it. So they both got more views than I thought they would. So that's awesome. So as you can see, today is a bit of a special episode. I've got one of my good mates, the Arsenal guys, with me, Ash. We're basically going to be talking to him about his Arsenal love, his love for Arsenal, and how he became a fan, etc. I've got a bunch of questions for him. So, and then after that, we'll probably talk in detail, probably about the league performance and the Europa League. Obviously, we're in the final for that, so we'll talk about that as well. So, yeah, hi, Ash, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Nice to have you on, man.
Yeah, it's nice to be here, mate. It's a good thing to do on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Better than being in bed or anything else, eh?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, talking about football. What's wrong with that? Okay, so basically, I want to introduce him and get you guys to get to know him a little bit. I've got a bunch of questions for him, so let's get into it. So let's have a look. So, okay, so we met through the Arsenal Australia Perth group.
Yeah.
At the Inglewood Hotel.
That'd been about 2 years ago now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's almost 2 years. I think.
Community Shield a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years in August, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So, yeah, it's been a while, eh?
Yeah, it's been
a wild ride.
Yeah, a bit of a wild one. We've had some messy nights out, some good nights. Yeah,
and
good fun.
Nights as well. Well, bad nights in terms of results.
Well, later end of this season, it's been that way, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much every game.
Yeah, it all went downhill. So
we haven't had too many Inglewood sessions lately, have we?
No, it's obviously been hard because we've had people, the bigger heads in the supporters club that have gone away, done things, and some of the key guys have all gone away. But we all get around it where we can.
Also, the times, the kickoff times, have been helpful. Obviously, with the Europa League.
This is why the Europa League is so important.
That we get out of.
Get these late Sunday night games off that most of the English and everyone else won't understand.
Yeah.
Getting up at like 5 a.m. for Monday for work isn't great after you've been out till possibly 2 o'clock watching football.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point actually for anyone that's watching in England or in the US. The US maybe might understand. The kickoff times are pretty horrific over here, unless they're early and on a Saturday. That's the best time.
You want that mid-afternoon kickoff, don't you? Mid-afternoon's good. It means about 7 o'clock here. 7:30.
Yeah, it's a decent drinking time, really, isn't it?
It's always a good time to drink, mate.
Yeah,
always.
And also the fact that the Champions League and the Europa League games are always like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, which isn't helpful.
Yeah, it's not great. I can honestly say I haven't had a chance to watch much Europa League this year. But Champions League's more important, obviously. But you know,
the final I might try and wake up for.
I hope you're not meaning the Champions League final, mate.
Oh yeah.
I hope you're not meaning the Champions League.
No.
Otherwise, we should get rid of all of this wonderful stuff here.
Yeah, I don't want to be speaking about the Champions League. So we've known each other for a while. So now I want to ask you a bunch of questions.
Yeah, you can go for it, mate.
So basically, how did you become an Arsenal fan?
It's a bit of a weird and wonderful story for me. It wasn't like every other kid that's got family or friends that are all Arsenal fans. Yeah. Pretty much, my old man's a Liverpool fan, and I remember being bought a Liverpool shirt at about 3 years old. Chelsea shirts, Tottenham shirts, West Ham shirts, all of this because I've got grandparents that are West Ham fans. And they all come from different areas, and Arsenal was never the one. And one of my cousins had a friend that was an Arsenal fan, and kept going, "Oh, come on, support Arsenal," kind of thing. Wind up your folks. Never really thought much of it, and I just remember sitting down in the front room when I was about 4 or 5, and I think it was when I know it was Arsenal playing. I believe Ian Wright was still playing at the time. It was the back end of his career, and I just saw him, started seeing what he was doing in the pitch, and I just was drawn to him. And it was like from that day on, I was an Arsenal fan. Yeah. So it broke my dad's heart a bit, but what can you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Liverpool fan, isn't it? So
it's kind of similar to mine actually, because obviously my dad's a Chelsea fan. My brother doesn't really like football. None of my immediate family, as in my parents, they don't really support any teams.
Yeah.
So I kind of got into Arsenal around 97ish before they won the double. On my own, you know, it's a club that you kind of discover and then learn about and think, wow, it's great. There's always something about it that attracts different people. Like some people like Henri, some people like yourself, like Ian Wright, who's a special player. So it's funny how the different ways you can support a football club, I think.
Yeah.
And what makes you drawn to them in the first place.
That's it. I think it's just the homely feel of it. Even on the TV, you can just see, yes, we have known for having some of the best supporters and some of the most critical.
Yeah.
But it's like that Arsenal fan TV. They want to really go and go. And it's fair play to them. But
the thing about giving everyone a voice is that you're gonna get
people like
the negative and embarrassing with the good and the positive.
Yeah.
It's part and parcel. You're gonna get both, and I think that's the best thing about social media at the moment is anyone can say anything they like within reason. Obviously there's
platform to express ourselves. And,
So that's good. That's a good story though. It's a good story.
Yeah, it's one of those ones.
So you're not regretting not being a Liverpool supporter?
Oh hell no. I would say I wouldn't have got a tattoo on my body of Arsenal, would I? If I regretted it. Only time you ever look back, like as I say, I've got a soft spot for Liverpool in a way, just because you want to see your family happy. But it's not a case of Liverpool Arsenal. I want to see a draw. It's nothing like that. And I'm not like Righty where he gets conflicted over Crystal Palace and Arsenal. It's no different there. It's just like obviously the Champions League finals coming up. I hate Tottenham with a passion. I don't love Liverpool, but it's like I'd rather see my dad happy than some spud.
I think we're all Liverpool fans at the moment. On the side for that final at least.
That's it.
It's the best out of a worst situation.
Best out of a bad situation.
Yes,
It's like the Premier League as well, though, isn't it? Like I'm gonna try and go and watch that tomorrow. And I'll be sitting there with a mate hoping Liverpool win, and it's just not because I like them, but I hate Man City. So what can you do?
Yeah, that's a good story. That's a good answer. That's a good story. So let's get on to the next question. So, your favourite moment? What's your favourite moment with the Perth Arsenal group?
Oh, see, that's a hard one because we had a great night out with the Mexican. That was a wicked night. You had your little stack. It was funny.
Yeah, big up Pancho Beers, by the way.
Yeah, it was a well organised night. Good fun, great company, and we got some of the lads out that we hadn't seen for a long time. But then we've had obviously the derby with Spurs this year. I think when we were at home, was it the draw?
Yeah.
I can't remember if we were at home or.
I remember being disappointed by it.
We were disappointed by the end result because we were poorly done over by ref, but that's another story. But those sorts of nights, because we get like 20, 30 people down, we're all having a bit of a laugh, having the beers. And it just reminds you a bit of what it's like to be back home and how you would be if you were watching the game or in with that sort of crowd. But every week is a new one. It's like it's hard just to pinpoint and go, this is my favourite time.
That's what
I think every week we have a good one. Whether there's 4 of us or 50 of us, we'll always find something fun out of it. And so every time we get on, I think there's always going to be a good moment. So it's hard just to say a best.
Yeah, I mean that's something I agree with you. Is when I first moved over here, I felt the lack of going out with buddies, having a few beers, watching the game. Because obviously I go out to watch the games, but it wasn't the same until I started going to England. Met a bunch of cool guys. Luckily, they're all pretty much awesome, aren't they? So,
there's no issues. Like if everyone's the same. They have a drink. Sometimes things get said, but no one's said anything too bad. There's never been an argument or a fight, so that's always a really good thing.
And I've also had fans of other clubs as well coming up to me, me especially, because I don't know why, but I talk to people, and they say, your fan group's awesome. You've got a load of good atmosphere. You're chanting stuff. I think some of it is due to age. I think you guys are all young bucks, but
I don't feel young.
Yeah,
I don't look it at the moment either.
But I think it's a good thing when fans of other clubs, especially when you're playing that club at the time, and they come up to you and say, your fan group, all your guys are awesome, you're loud and you chant and you're singing. And we do sing quite a lot, but I sing more here in Australia than I did in
the UK. Well, I hope you mean singings and chants, right? You don't mean singers and singing.
No.
If you start breaking out singing D, I'm going to start walking away from you.
I draw the line at football chants. No, I don't sing any other singing. But that's a good answer, though.
Yeah.
Good answer. So let's have a look at the next one. So, what's your favourite Arsenal moment in general?
Oh,
There's a lot to pick from.
yeah, there's a lot to pick from. Like, obviously, everyone loves the Invincibles.
Mhm.
Everyone loves that whole season, so that's hard to like. That's quite the common. For me, it's actually been it's tricky because it's like the FA Cup where Rambo scores the winner against Hull. That's one from recent memory because we've had a lot of bad times or
leading up to that.
leading up to that. So that was a really good day, good game, and it showed his worth, which we're going to sorely miss next year. As much as I said to people, I don't personally like him, but seeing his interview the other day, I don't know if you saw it yourself, after when he got his award and Petr was being spoken to as well, seeing how emotional he was and how much he loves the club, it made me think, yeah, you're not actually, I don't think you're worth that money, but I wish I could keep you.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Ramsey's one of those players that
he's like a Jack Wilshere. He's got a lot of love for the club.
To, like, not do very well very often.
Mm.
But then he'll come up and score a goal that wins us the trophy. It was nice to see how much it meant to him.
Mm-hmm.
That he was actually upset. You know, he was.
Yeah, that's.
It's not like he's like, yes, I pray I'm going now. I'll see ya.
Yeah, it's like it's just he realizes, as he said, he came to Arsenal as a boy, as a 17-year-old lad, and he's left as a father of. I think he's got 2 kids.
Oh, he's 3 now.
2 or 3 kids. He's got his wife, his dogs, and he's left a man. He's grown up. Yeah. He's had the best time of his. He's had his highest and highs and lowest of lows. Like when he got injured by Ryan Shawcross, I thought he was never going to come back from that. Because
you can't speak about Aaron Ramsey's Arsenal career and not speak about that leg breaking.
Yeah, that was tough to watch because I actually liked him a lot when he was younger. Because obviously you see young up and comers like he'll be good for us.
We like a prospect.
Yeah, we do. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain before he went to all those blokes at Liverpool. Another great player I quite liked. He never quite lived up to his potential, but
both had injuries. I think Oxlade had a bit more injury. I think than Ramsey.
He probably did. Rambo had the major one, and I think Ox got a lot of little ones. Then he had a big one, and then he'd come back. He'd have like 4 or 5 games under his belt, and he'd get a knock at training or something, or a slight tack in a game. You'd just be like, oh,
that's unheard of, Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, knock at training. Oh, yeah. And then you got Mertzi Ozil. Oh, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about Mesut Ozil a bit later.
Yeah.
All the pluses and negatives involved in him.
It's got a lot of positives.
Yeah. So let's have the next question. So, what's your overview? I know this is going to turn into a massive thing.
Yeah.
But what's your overview on the whole Wenger Emery thing? Do you think we've improved? Or
it's too early to tell in my eyes because, let's be fair, Wenger was there for 20+ years.
Yeah.
He is a legend. Yes, he may have stayed a season or two too long after that FA Cup win. He probably could have said, you know what, go out with a win. Yeah. I do love the fact that he did try and stick around, as much as that will get criticism and people will say, you know what, he should have left. He was only holding the club back. Yeah. He's a legend, so it's okay. So sometimes you look at it and you go, if he wants to stay and he feels he's good, has he proven us wrong? Has he had any reason to be doubted? Like, he's the only coach ever to do an invincible year. He's won countless FA Cups. He's brought players like Thierry Henry that weren't very big in the world to start with and made them superstars. Yes, we have a high turnover, but that's not necessarily down at Wenger. That was more a case of who we've got above that on the board, not letting funds out or saying he wants too much money, he's not allowed to stay. Yeah. But as I say, I think Wenger is a phenomenal coach. He'll always have a very soft spot with me because of the fact he was what drew me, as I say, as a young lad.
It is what most of us know.
Most of us knew. Like, I've only ever seen 2 managers. 24 years old, and I've seen Wenger and now Emery. Yeah. I think, and that's all I can remember. Yeah. So, Emery has done well. I think for his first season in the club, we've had some minor hiccups, like games at Wolves, where we should be coming away with at least a point or 3 points, and we're coming away losing games. Obviously, nothing to take away from Wolves. Wolves have had a stellar season. But Brighton, really, we drew 1-1 with Brighton. We go up, and it's like these little results. Sometimes the formation, I'm a bit questionable. I know he's still learning. He's still trying to see what his players want. Yeah. You'd like to think on the later half of the season, especially with Europa League, with FA Cups, Carling Cups, all these extra cups that we've got in the game, you would have seen your players. You would know well enough, like, don't start Mustafi.
Yeah, or don't play this player.
Or don't play Mustafi at right back. Don't play Mustafi. That's where it's at this season. And I like Mustafi, but yeah, well, I did. I did like Mustafi. Yeah. This season, he's shown that he's a bit prone to being injured, but or faking injuries. But as I say, Emery, we can really take it as in, well, look, he's got one season under his belt. If we win the Europa League, then you can say, is it a successful year? Yes, it is, because we've never really got. Well, we were in the Europa League with Wenger, weren't we?
And but only to the semis.
That's what I mean. Like, already, Emery has taken us past that. He's got more of a seasoned head in, say, the Europa League, which is great if you want to win it, and we do, because
we need to
get out of this predicament of not playing Champions League football and hearing that North London is now white.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not, but
enjoy the moment. I don't think they're going to win. On Spurs for a second, I think it would be the most Spursy thing ever for them to have their best season ever, their first Champions League final ever, the best squad ever, and they still don't win anything.
I don't think they're good enough to beat Liverpool.
I think Liverpool know how to win the Champions League.
They know how to win the Champions League. They know how not to lose games. As I was like taking it off slightly, Liverpool have lost one game all year.
Yeah,
they've drawn however many. They should have won the Premier League a few weeks back, but they just can't. They're not clinical enough in front of goal, or their defence slips up for a second, lets a slight goal in. They should have won this season a long time.
I think City is still a different animal. I think as well. City, they're just they're half a step up from Liverpool, but they're a full 2 or 3 steps above everybody else in the league, I believe.
Well, I think they might even be a full few steps above everyone. Liverpool have done well. I honestly thought Liverpool wouldn't maintain it. I thought with the squad they've got, they have got some depth, but you look at a squad like City, and it's no comparison. Their bench, their reserves would make first team football most places in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So other than their strikers, they might not get in at Arsenal because we've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, even though we only play them together very rarely. But people like Man U, they're crying out for an attacker at the moment because Lukaku's had an enough one, hasn't he? And stuff like that.
Yeah, Chelsea don't have a decent striker at all,
do they? Have Higuain, don't they?
Yeah, but he's not.
He hasn't done it.
Giroud as well. They got Giroud. I think they're best striker.
Well, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Who knows? He might be wearing the colours again soon.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. He's a decent backup. I don't think he wouldn't beat Lacazette or Aubameyang to the first spot.
No,
I think he's amazing, and he's a different type of striker.
It'd be nice to have a target man that can be clinical in the air. As I say, with Arsenal, he was one of the most efficient scorers off the bench in the league. And look, he's come back, and if he was to come back to Arsenal, everyone would accept him.
Bring the chant back.
Yeah, bring the good old chant back that we've all missed to sing this year.
Definitely.
But as I say, Emery's.
He's done all right for you.
Yeah. As I say, one season's hard to judge, especially after a guy of 20 years. So
he didn't really have his own transfer window either. It's not like he's had a whole transfer window that he can bring and sell who he wants. So
it's funny you mentioned the transfer window because obviously he brought in the likes of Guendouzi, Torreira, brought in Socrates, Leno, who I think Leno and Torreira have been 2 of our best players, hands down, this year. Leno has saved us more times from going down. That Leicester game we lost, we were down 10 men. It should have been 4 or 5, 6-0. Like we hadn't played very well. Didn't help getting sent off in 30 odd minutes. Not Maitland-Niles, but for what it is, Leno put in a work that day and he earned his money. Where
he started off pretty shaky. I can't remember why him and Czech were fighting for that start. But pretty soon into the season, he's dominated the league. In terms of
I believe by about the 8th game, Leno was the constant starter because we'd had a couple of Carling Cup, or I think we'd had a Carling Cup or one Cup, Carling Cup, whichever it is now.
His name of the year.
We had him start. Them 2 start one game each for that, and then after Leno had started, it was like the wheels are coming off the track. It just going, and Leno saved us many a time. He's had a great year, and I can't wait to see how he goes next year.
Good answer. You kind of answered the next question, which was have we progressed under Emery? Do you think we have?
Yes, we have in certain areas, and there are certain areas where I feel that we haven't. Because obviously, I believe Wenger was more well respected in the dressing room because of the longevity. Um, with the players like Mesut Ozil saying he's sick, Wenger, we got that, but Wenger would probably have got around that a better way. I feel that if Emery's not liking someone, you can kind of see it on the pitch when there's times where they're maybe not listening to instruction, or you just see that he hasn't quite got that
relationship.
that relationship with some of the players. Like obviously with everything that's happened with Ramsey, it's like Wenger would have sorted that if he could. He would have done his utmost to keep these players interested.
Especially Ramsey, because he loved Ramsey, didn't he?
He loved Ramsey. He saw such potential in him at Cardiff, and
when he was playing him, we all thought he wasn't good enough, and he was playing him and playing and playing, and suddenly
he just developed. That's what he needs, and that's what these boys like Maitland-Niles need. And I hope Emery continues to play them, because we can't afford like Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe. He's on loan in Germany at the moment, and the chances are he might get sold. And he's going to be a great player. Probably put in the England shirt more than once in his future.
I
know he has for the under 21s. I think he's made the subs bench for an actual England cap under Southgate. I think he's done. But if we sell these players, it will come back to haunt us. It always does. We look at our past history, and that has happened so many times.
So it kind of leads me to my last question, which is basically what are your hopes and fears for the next season?
Fears for next year that we still are in Europa, or that we're still battling like this. Because again, this year we started off quite well. We look good at the start of the year, and then
winning streak, didn't we? We like 15 games.
And that's what I mean. We had an unbeaten streak that was going across all competitions, which was nice. And then we bottled it in the FA Cup, I think. It was the FA Cup or Capital One Cup, and then it started a bit of a cycle. We got back on track.
It was the Capital One Cup final, wasn't it? Against City, we lost.
Could have been.
That the season?
No, Capital One. I don't think we were in the final. Not a Capital One Cup.
I don't know.
We'll have to check that one. I don't watch Capital One Cup much. There's not much point. As I say, fears that there's no sign of progression, or that we keep players that don't want to be there. Because at the moment, I like Ozil. You notice he's a completely different animal when he's on the pitch and he's focused.
Yeah, he's actually wanting to.
Because he's a magician when he wants to be. He's got a fantastic touch, great pass. He can strike a ball as much as we forget that. But this year we haven't seen that from him. Obviously, everything that's still going on with it from those World Cup, which the Germans, how they treated him, which is another matter. But his mind's clearly not in the game.
Although he did have a good semi-final.
He did. He had a very good semi-final, and that's the Ozil we need, and that's the Ozil if we keep. He'll help us that next level. And I'd like to see us pick up a couple more players. Like everyone in the league's crying out for a centre half, and I think it shows that we need one, because Mustafi this year has been pretty dreadful.
The defence in general, really. I mean, Socrates has kind of tried to plug the gap a little bit. Obviously, we missing Holding because he got injured.
Yeah.
If we kept Holding, I think we probably would have drawn a lot more games than we lost. Maybe win.
Yeah, I feel that Holding would have opened up another avenue because of the fact he is very, very strong on the ball. He's quite a pacey centre back, really, for someone on our team. Because look at us, we've got flipping Koscielny, who's on his last legs. He's injured. He's a great player. Was great in his heyday. Needs to probably leave the club at the end of the year.
Yeah, especially with his injury that he had. I think he hasn't really come back from that.
Yeah,
fully.
But he's in his late 30s now, or mid to late 30s.
33, 32.
Oh, he seems a lot older than that. But that's probably injury setting him back. If we can get a good centre half, keep a couple of players. As I've seen, someone's already said, get rid of Mkhitaryan. I completely agree. Mkhitaryan is diabolical. I thought when we got him from United the other year on that Sanchez trade, I thought we'd got the better end of the stick.
Oh yeah, he came in and just did a lot better. Obviously, now we can look back and think, well, there's not much better than Alexis at United at the moment, is there? So, but at the time, it was like, yes, we got the better deal.
We've got the far better end of the stick, but it's a case of now we just need to get rid of Mkhitaryan and damage control, as say El Nene needs to go as well.
So it's Mustafi Mkhitaryan. Who else would you get rid of?
El Nene.
El Nene, yeah.
Yeah, not a big fan of him.
El Nene, sorry, it's Mohamed Al sideways.
Yeah, he doesn't move very well. I think he's got a tunnel vision. He can only look like in one direction.
I think he would walk in to a lower Premier League team, like a Cardiff or Brighton.
Well, Cardiff are no longer in the Premier League at the end of the year, so he could play Championship football hands down easy as anything. But
he's a solid defensive midfielder.
Yeah, he just needs to. I think he needs to look a bit more. Obviously we can't see through his eyes, but it looks like his head's down a lot when he's got the ball. He's not as clinical with his passing as I would like for a centre mid.
Yeah.
And I'll be fair, he lays a tackle in when he can. But
yeah, I was gonna say he's a good tackler.
He seems to get lost in the game, and at this point in midfield, you can't afford to get lost in the game. It's a very midfield orientated league, our one. So where we need to get rid of him and probably get rid of Danny Welbeck. Now it's time.
Yeah.
Now it's time. He's clearly not playing. He's not really.
Is he still injured?
If he's not injured, he's not playing. It's both ways. He's getting on a bit. He's outdone himself by day at Arsenal. I think we need to, if we're going to start playing players like Welbeck again, we should may as well just bring up the under-16s and give them a run. Say, look, you can prove yourself. Your career's ahead of you.
For Welbeck as well, I think it would do him good to be in a team where he's the starting player, and he's not going to be that at Arsenal.
But yeah, Welbeck could walk into the likes of a Norwich who have just been promoted. Because let's be fair, I've seen some of the Norwich players; they are very, very good, and for winning the championship the way they did, but they haven't got a Premier League striker in their midst yet. And Danny Welbeck's seasoned; he knows how to play.
He is Premier League proven.
He's Premier League proven. He was very, very good at United when we got him. He was pretty good, pretty on the ball.
Did that goal against Leicester?
Yeah,
beat them and they won the league.
That's the thing. Like, if he has got some very good experience, and he could easily make a low end Premier League table.
Yeah, bottom half table.
Very good team.
So, who would you get if we stay in the Europa League?
That's hard. If we stay in the Europa, who would I get if we stay in the Europa League? Well,
because obviously it affects the caliber of players.
It does, because obviously we want the big names, and the big names want Champions League football. So if we could go to Europa, I'd be still looking at centre halves.
Yeah.
I'd probably go back to Germany if I'm honest, because they've got some of the better defenders. But there's a couple of players out there. Their names have escaped me. You put me on the point here. There's a player for Schalke, centre half. I can't remember his name. I'll try to remember for next time.
Cher, is it Cher?
There's Naldo as well, who plays for Wolfsburg, I believe. Still, Naldo's a good player. If we could pick someone like that up, be a nice one. But hopefully, I don't have to sit here and think we're playing Europa League. We're not getting the centre half we want. Or as I've said to a lot of the lads at the club, I would really like to see Harry Maguire. I think he's a player to go after. A lot of people like myself think he is a Leicester player through and through. But if we throw enough money his way, I'm sure he will come to North London.
Yeah.
And
I mean, especially if we're in the Champions League. If we're in the Champions League, he's going to look at that now.
Yeah, because he was hands down best player when we were in England when England were in the World Cup. Hands down, one of our best players.
I think he's one of the best centre backs in the league now, isn't he? Is it fair to say?
I'd say he's well proven. I'd say John Stones is another really good centre back. You've got
they're both English as well.
It's just a crazy future for English centre halves, which is awesome. Obviously, as long as I don't do a Chris Smalling and fall off and be like, Phil Jones, I'm better than Messi, of course you are. All that stuff, or don't turn out like Lovren, he's naff. But yeah, as I say, we can go after a centre half either way. I'd love to see Maguire. Yeah. As
Bristol says, who do we replace Ramsey with?
Well,
in your opinion?
In my opinion, I feel like we've already got our replacements in a way, because we've brought in Guendouzi and Torreira, and they can both pass the ball. Maybe not as good attacking, but I feel like we've gained something in defence with both of those players. If we had to just replace a swap for Ramsey, it is tough to say. Obviously, I'd love to go, we'll get Pjanic or something. But at the end of the day, we're playing Europa League football, as we said. It's hard. Is it Madison from Leicester City, another good midfielder? He teared us apart the other day. I quite like him. He's got a good free kick.
He's super young as well, isn't he?
He's like, very young. I think he's English as well, actually, which
is a plus. Yeah.
Yeah, he's British anyway, and I think he'd be a very good pickup if we were still in Europa League. Because Leicester, let's be fair, they're not in the Europa at this point. They're not. They're mid-table. I'm sure the young guy wants bigger and better things in his future. I'm not saying Leicester haven't done. They've had their peak. They've won the Premier League when that was arguably our year to win it.
Yeah.
And I'd get Madison and go after him and try a bit of money, see if he's tempted. If not, try him in a year's time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone's going to jump on him just yet.
Do you think what player would you get in the midfield if we do get the Champions League? What's your top centre mid that you absolutely love? And then you probably would have to be an attacking.
Yeah, it would be, and that's the thing. Like Pjanic is more of a centre defensive mid. I look at Sammy Khedira in the day. I would have had him, but he's again another centre.
We should have got him.
And obviously they're both at Juve at the moment, but it's hard because see, it's a tough one because midfielders this day, if we go through it and get to the Champions League, I might even look in a lower league. I'd probably go down to a championship level squad and look for a player for a future because at the moment I think we've got a lot of centre mids and I feel that we could cover that position.
Yeah.
It's just at this point, no one in the Champions League would. If we got back in it, I don't think they'd be keen enough to come play for Arsenal still. I think we need a year, a good season, and then we can go for a good centre mid.
So for me, if we're still in the Europa League, I mean it's going to be biased, but if we're still in the Europa League, I'll actually go for Hector Herrera from Porto.
Is he a Mexican?
Yes, he is. Mexican. Oh no.
Mexico talk.
But yeah, basically he's captain. He's Porto's club captain.
Yeah.
They were in the Champions League, obviously. They're not anymore. I think he's free as well. His contract's running up, so he'd be free. He's around about the same age as Ramsey as well. They're 27, 28.
So he's got a bit of season behind him.
And he's attacking minded. He'd score a lot of goals, I think. But yeah, that's who I'd pick, to be honest, because he's free. I wouldn't pick him if we've got the Champions League, though.
Yeah, because a lot of South American players, they have flair, which is nice. I will be fair. That's like obviously the Mexicans, the Argentinians, they may as well play 11 attackers. I'm sure their goalkeepers are better attackers than some of these teams.
I think what it is, I think the Premier League can't handle a good South American player. And look at Sanchez when he came to Arsenal. They couldn't handle it for about 2 or 3 years. He was easily the best player in the league. I think people say Hazard, but I think
Hazard's probably the most proven player in the league at points. So, I'm open to anyone.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think, I think the Emery era at the moment will hinge on if we get Champions League or Europa League. I think because that decision, that one game, will effectively decide at least the next season, but I think the immediate future. Because if we're still in the Europa League, then it means that we haven't progressed, we haven't improved, and it will hinder our chances of improving. Because obviously the caliber of players and the money as well, I think we a little bit less. I think we get more money for the Champions League.
Yeah, you obviously get a lot more money for the Champions League these days. So it's like the Championship and Premier League, completely different budgets, but not quite that financially different, but big money. But you've done your Mexico talk for the day.
I just wanted to mention Herrera. That's all. So that's cool. So let's just get into a little bit of conversations. Let's talk about. Well, we've talked about the league campaign in general. I think how disappointing it's been. Even though we had a bit of a positive streak in the middle of the first half.
Well, I think disappointing is probably the wrong way we should look at it because it has been at points we can say worse than we wanted, but to say it's disappointing because could we really know what to expect? You know what I mean? Like it'd be disappointing in a Wenger scenario because we've seen this guy with the Invincibles, FA Cups, proven manager. in this league. Emery's just stepped in. He may have done less than what we wanted, but I feel like we can't go, and say disappointing. But yeah, we've had ups and downs. We've had a fair few ups, fair few downs, and a couple of real stale moments.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of criticism, I think, especially on Twitter with Emery, and people saying we should have kept Wenger. He hasn't progressed us. We haven't improved. Well, one is his first season in the Premier League, and no one really. I mean, Pep did relatively well, but that's only because he's got money. But so it was always going to be a gamble, I think, with Emery coming in. He would either do really well, get us into the top 4 quite easily, or he could have regressed. We could have been sitting in 8th, 10th. I don't think we would have got much lower than that. I think that even if Emery wasn't that great a manager, I think our squad is good enough to get at least top 8. I think he's done. I think what it was is we went on a really good streak, unbeaten streak, as you said earlier, and we started thinking, okay, I think we were hovering around top 4, and at one point we were above Spurs.
We were firmly third at one stage.
Yeah,
we were looking solid.
We got that glimmer of hope where it's like, oh, things have changed and it's immediate and it's great, and then suddenly, if it had been the other way around, if we'd been suffering like we've been doing the last 3 weeks at the beginning of the season, obviously it would have been bad still, because obviously he would have got criticised. If he had come in and lost the first 3 games, for example, he would still have been criticised. But if it had been like a really positive end of the season, I think it would have been different. I think it's the glimmer of hope. I think that's disappointing a lot of people. I think if we'd been hovering around 5th or 6th the entire season, which we kind of have, but not, I think it would have been a bit different. The fact that we had a glimmer of hope that we were going to get to top 4 and it was going to be really easy, and it kind of made people a little bit more disappointed than they probably should be.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, as you say, he's not at the transfer window. It's only his first season. You can't judge.
That's it. And next year we had testing moments with him. Obviously, if we get off to a poor start, I'm not one for getting rid of managers really quickly.
No, I mean, not after a few months.
We can't have another season out of Champions League after this year. If we're not in it the next year, the year after, we need to be back in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because we've got players' contracts running out too. I can't recall them all off the top of my head, but there could be some potentially big players, and they all want Champions League football.
Yeah.
So if we can't give it to them, they'll go somewhere that can. Aubameyang's not going to hang aroround forever.
He's quite old now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, they're not going to hang around forever, because Aubameyang left Borussia Dortmund because of issues, and at one stage he was saying because Champions League were not progressing enough. We're not even in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So give him a reason to leave. That's a quick out. Lacazette, he's not getting any younger. He's been arguably our best player again this year.
It's a toss-up between him and Aubameyang, but both together are just
they've been phenomenal all year. Say phenomenal. They've been very, very good all year, and they've had some games obviously where not all strikers score every game, but playing them together, it just shows they've got chemistry, and that's what we love to see at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, play 2 good players together.
Magic.
It's not really maths. It's not really rocket science, is it? Really, if you play 2 good players. If Ozil is on his game, I think what it is if you play Aubameyang and like I said, and Ozil's not on his game, he's not bothered, then they suffer and they look worse than they should do.
They're not getting the service from the arguably our best passer of the ball.
I mean, what I wanted to talk to you really is what's your opinion on the difference in form between our Premier League and our Europa League seasons?
It looks like 2 different teams. Completely. Yeah. I was worried, I'll be honest. After the Brighton game, I was worried for Valencia. Very, very worried.
Well, you worried that we were going to lose?
I was worried we were going to get battered because we didn't look good against Brighton. We looked lucky. Again, and that's been our story of our season for a lot of the year this year. Like Everton, we didn't look good.
No.
Arguably we should have got a point out of that game as well, but we didn't look good. That's the main thing. Leicester doesn't help me playing 10 men, but we didn't look good. We've had so many games this year where we've just dropped the ball in the Premier League, and then you play midweek on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. I forget what day it is. Thursday, and you're playing like proper football, passing the ball nicely, getting into position. taking advantage of opportunities and battering teams
in tough atmospheres as well. We've had to go to some really sketchy places, especially Napoli away.
Yeah, that's it.
How we won that game, or you win that game, or draw that away? I'm not sure. I know that we obviously beat them, but I think we won.
But to go to places in Italy which are arguably tough to go anyway,
just pure atmosphere wise,
to hold our own, and we can't go to Brighton on a Sunday, and get 3 points. Like we look like it's just a joke. Goodison Park, Everton aren't good. There might be Everton people out there beg to differ. I personally think Everton could be good, but they haven't got that guidance yet, and haven't obviously got the funds. But Everton should not be holding Arsenal to a loss. No. Not in the modern day with the players we've got.
Even Leicester are a quality team, but they're not.
They're not an Arsenal caliber team. Well, what we should consider an Arsenal caliber team.
Yeah, I mean,
we're obviously showing what caliber team we are at the moment, and that's a real hit and miss team.
Are you worried that we've found our level, and this is our level for the time being?
Don't put that thought in my head down, please. It's a scary thought. Obviously, how many years has it been now since we won the Premier League? I've lost count. It's been that long.
Yeah.
If we have fizzled, and this is where we're going to sit as a top 6 team, then it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Because a lot of we all want the best. We've all been saying for years we can win the league. We're good enough to win the league. You hear it at stadiums still. We're going to win the league. We're beating blooming Leicester 1-0. Yeah. It's like stuff like that. It's like if we're going to win the league, we need to do what City do: turn up and batter teams 5-0, not show any remorse, and keep going. Go for the jugular.
See, that's why I think I think some people are probably thinking, why you're going on about the Champions League? Because that's the essential thing. If we get Champions League, as I say, we get the caliber. It allows us. It gives us the opportunity and the resources and the temptation, from players to join us to go to the next level. If we're in the Europa League, top level players not going to. I don't want to play Europa League. I want to play Champions League. I want to play against Messi and Ronaldo and all the others. I think it's so essential, and I hope the players know that, and I hope they take it seriously. I think they do, especially when you consider the semis. I just want to talk to you a bit about the semis, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Was you impressed by that? Was you surprised that we won quite easily, especially away?
The first leg, no. First leg, I thought we were clearly the better team.
We've been good at home, though.
We've been very, very solid. But going to Valencia, I was worried. Because obviously, we have the likes of. I know Santi didn't play, but Santi was there in support of his old club and us. I think it was a tough one for him, a bit like a righty scenario.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had Gabriel, who I think we should have given a fair go at Arsenal. I still think he's a good centre half.
Is he better than Mustafi?
This year, yes.
But no way we got Mustafi.
But when we got Mustafi, it was a different kettle of fish again because. Wenger didn't really play Gabriel with Mustafi, or Gabriel was injured, so we had to play Mustafi. Mustafi had a good year.
Yeah.
But we go to Valencia, and it's like, they put in their hard yards. Yeah, we did concede, but it's expected. We've gone to their home ground. We fought our asses off this one.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I was surprised to see that we'd win by so much. I thought we might come away 2-1 winners.
Or a draw.
Yeah, or a draw. A draw would still have got us through. So, but to come away and just not let off and go for them, it was a really good game to watch. And good game to see.
Restored a bit of confidence, because obviously, as we say, the last few Premier League games, we've been so demoralising. It was nice to think we can actually win and win convincingly and win away. A place that. Apparently, they've not lost that many games at Valencia in their home ground. Yeah,
they've been pretty good in La Liga this year as well, I believe, from all I've heard. And it's been a bit of a fortress. So it's a bit like when we used to go to City, you wouldn't win.
No.
There was a long time where you just wouldn't win it at the Etihad. And now it's...
I mean, we struggled with them in the Champions League a few years ago, right? I think we played them in the Champions League, and if I remember rightly, years ago. Obviously, it was years ago because... we were in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But it's a good. It was a nice confidence boost. It's nice to be in the final. Obviously, we didn't reach it last year. We should have done, but Atletico Madrid, no one's beaten them. So it's nice. It's just the pressure of it now, and obviously it being. What I was gonna say. What's your thoughts on the All English European League Cups?
I think it's phenomenal because it just goes to show that the common argument is everyone thinks, oh, the Spanish league's the best, or the Italian league, the German league's the best. Well, it ain't.
No.
I'm afraid. Like, they're all very good leagues. They've got a couple of good teams in them. If anyone says the Scottish league, I'm sorry, they're just terrible, completely.
Yeah.
Stop
Scottish is worse than the Champions League,
just go and watch kids kick a ball around the park. You'll see better football there. Nah, but in seriousness, you look at it and you're like, well, look, Tottenham, Liverpool, Champions League final. It's not the final I wanted, obviously, but it shows they come from England. It's one of the most competitive leagues in the world. Anyone can beat anyone.
It's the one positive I can find is that it's like, because I've been telling people on Twitter, the Premier League is at least the toughest. It may not be the best, but it's the toughest league in the world.
I would say it's the toughest, the best. There's nothing like it because as we've shown, Wolves beat us one week, Brighton drew us the next, Leicester have beaten us, and then we can go and beat people like your Tottenhams. And
Valencia's and Napoli's.
Did City lost to one of the bottom feeders this year, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but
Huddersfield?
It may have been Huddersfield, yeah. And it was like, so you're telling me it's not the best league to see that happening.
It's like I want to talk to you in a minute about the games coming up, the Burnley game and the final.
Yeah.
I should just say leading into that, like Burnley away is a fixture that you have to seriously think about and worry about to a point because. And what I'm trying to say is Burnley away is not an easy game. It's not like, we're going there, beat them.
They play at Turf Moor, is that right? Turf Moor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they've still got Sean Dyche, is it? As the manager. He knows us pretty well. He's always come a bit of a thorn in the side. And Burnley have got nothing to lose. They're a team, they've got, it's scary. It's like when you're playing, whoever's playing Brighton playing Huddersfield, Cardiff on the last day, they've got nothing to lose. They're going to go out and want their final moments. Burnley aren't fighting for anything. All they're doing is going out and playing one more game of football.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got a point to prove. We've got to show that we have form for the Europa League final. We've got to show that we are good enough to be in that top four that we reckon we should be in.
And also, if other results go our way, there is still a glimmer of hope. Not much, but a glimmer of hope that we can get top four. If Tottenham lose 4-0,
I think they've got to lose 4-0 and we've got to win 5. And I don't know who Tottenham are playing actually, which is the worry because they're probably playing a team that
it's not
aren't hard. Not that they aren't hard, but they're not as competitive.
No.
But you never know. Tottenham might rest some players because they've got that Champions League final. We should probably rest some players because we've got the Europa League final. That's more important at this point in time.
Tottenham quickly. Obviously, they're not going to have Kane still, are they? His ankle injury. Apparently, he can still run around on the pitch and celebrate. But
I think he dribbled on his foot. That's probably what it was. All that speech impediment he's got. Dribble on his foot and it's injured his toes, something. You know what he's like. But no, he's fine. Yeah.
There's something about Harry Kane that I just don't like.
Probably the fact that he was an Arsenal boy and now he's the biggest first scorer ever. But what can you do?
No. I mean, in another reality, he's probably on loan somewhere in some champions. He's probably playing in some championship countries. Club somewhere, I think certain things aligned for him to suddenly click and become as good as he is.
He's one of those players. It's great to see him in an England shirt. Not that I'll say I ever like him, but it's great to see him in an England shirt when he's on form because he helps the team. But it's just knowing his attitude towards Arsenal, obviously as you can expect from a Spurs player. But I suppose it's just the way that Spurs felt when we got Sol Campbell.
Yeah. It does go both ways.
So it goes both ways. I think everyone feels that way about William Gallas. We had him from Chelsea, big mistake. That we gave them to Tottenham. Then he ended up here in Perth with glory, and I think he had one game of heat stroke and decided that wasn't.
That won't be in Australia anymore.
But they'll say, it is an important game, but this will show what sort of manager Emery wants to be because he's got big tasks. Coming up with the Europa League, do you risk the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Torreira, any of those players? And even Ozil, Leno, do you risk him because you never know? He could get a freak accident.
Would you not play Czech in the Europa League final? Because he's
I
in the
wouldn't
Europa
start.
League.
I've got to be honest. I wouldn't start him. I think Leno's had such a good season. As much as this could come off as a bad way of saying it, Czech is not an Arsenal legend. He's a Chelsea legend.
Yeah.
He is not. He's been at the club for I think 4 seasons now, 4 or 5 maybe.
4 or 5. Yeah.
It might be less. It just feels like an eternity with him. He is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He was great in his heyday. You can't argue that. But I think it would be unfair to take that away from Leno when he is arguably been the most consistent goalkeeper we've had for years.
I think Wenger would have played Czech. I think Emery would play Leno.
I think
Wenger would have. If Wenger had a little bit of a lot of a.
I feel like it's too much of a
like
risk.
a romantic side, you know?
Yeah, I feel it's definitely too much of a risk to play to play Perth against Chelsea, especially when they've got the likes of Hazard run. Like Leno is quicker off his line. If we need to get to a dead ball on the edge of the box, Leno will do that. If with Perth and always in the back of your mind, you know that players play for their club they're playing at the moment.
But yeah, he does have a massive soft spot.
And it's just probably paranoia again, but that's the case. But the one thing that has done me about this whole Europa League, sorry, I'm going to take this off you now for a sec.
Yeah.
These ticket sales.
Oh yeah.
The 6,000 tickets each. It's a joke.
It's diabolical, especially when you consider the overall capacity of the stadiums.
Yeah.
At least do like 30,000 each or 20,000 each.
I've got, I believe it's in Azerbaijan where we're going, and 6,000 tickets each. We know that arguably this isn't just Arsenal. Arsenal and Chelsea are two of the biggest clubs in the world. And it's the same as the Champions League. They got 10,000 tickets each. That's 4,000 more for the bigger cup, but still, it's not enough. You're playing in 70,000, near 70, if not 70,000 stadium capacity.
Yeah.
You should be getting 15,000 each at least. That's being fair. That's 30,000 to the general public of Azerbaijan. 38,000. Because let's be honest, we're playing 2 English teams. Fair enough. The location is decided. But to say that only 6,000 of our fans can get under that banner, and then they all need to get onto these Azerbaijan websites and try and get them off corporate and everything else. You know, the average man that goes to watch a game of football, or family that goes to watch a game of football, they pay a lot of money. You can just see these tickets are going to get inflated big time.
And that's not even considering transport.
That's it. Azerbaijan isn't cheap, so
it's not easy to get to. Apparently, the flights are like, even if there's no direct flights now, and apparently the closest flight, I think it's from Madrid or something, like a stop off, and that will take the best part of 12 hours.
And that's the thing, like you start to think football is the game that is made for the modern man, made for the people that like ourselves that we're not loaded, so it's like, it's 50 quid, 60 quid, go enjoy yourself, or that might be $80 for people watching this, I don't know, $80, $90, and you think 90 minutes of football, it's made for an enjoyable day. When people start selling tickets, like I've seen one online of a final ticket already, and it was close to 2,500. It was in a pucker location, but 2,500.
Yeah.
You've got your flights, everything else. It's not feasible.
No, I think there's going to be a lot of places. I know that Arsenal the club have already complained about the fact that it's going to be difficult for them to decide who can go and who can't go.
Well, as we were saying before we started, Mkhitaryan can't even go because Armenia issues with Azerbaijan at the moment. And so, not that that's a hindrance to us, because I don't think Mkhitaryan should start. But say we get an injury to some of our players in training, we need to take him. Well, then what? We can't take him. We've got to take some kid that's 16 that's actually not in the Europa League squad.
Yeah, for the final,
For the final, I don't think they'd allow it. I think we just have to go with one less player.
I think it's the money in football obviously is a controversial thing anyway, but it's when businessmen go, we want to take tickets away from the actual fans and give it to ourselves, because we can sell them for a profit, but also it's our mates and we can all have a party and have a drink and a cocktail and stuff. When the hard-earned absolute fan who watches every game and goes to every game. He can't go because this businessman's decided, nah, I've got more money than you, so I'm just going to take all the tickets.
It's not on. But here's a question: what's your prediction for the score? Not only of the Premier League game this week coming, but also the final of the Europa League.
Okay, I think it'll be tough, and it could go either way. But I think we'll grab a win at Burnley.
If you had to put a score on it,
I think it's. We'll concede, so I think it'll be 2-1.
Yeah.
But I think we'll win it. I've just got a funny feeling that we've lost the games, and I think we'll win it no matter what squad he puts out. As you say, Burnley don't have anything to play for. We kind of do. We've got pride. Hi. Hello. We've got pride to play for.
No, I'm good, thank you.
So yeah, sorry about that. That's my mum. So yeah, we've got pride to play for, and also a glimmer of hope for the Champions League, the top four. Sorry. Not much hope, to be fair. It probably won't happen, but there is still a possibility. Spurs have their final, so as Ash says, maybe they'll lose, and
everything will be right in the world.
They might lose big, and we might win big, and it'd be some tottering in the favour. So I think it'll be 2-1 to Arsenal for Burnley, but I could see us drawing or losing that game. I wouldn't be so bothered about it, especially if we play a rotated team.
Yeah.
Europa League is going to be difficult. On one hand, recently we've done really well against Chelsea in finals as well as in the league. Not so much in the league, but in finals we have. They kind of don't have anything to pay for because, well, apart from the trophy, because they're already in the Champions League anyway. Whereas we've got that carrot in front of us, we've got that hunger, that we've got that something to aim for, whereas they don't. So Chelsea, I would say Chelsea, and I was having an argument on Facebook yesterday about Chelsea with the Chelsea fan. Chelsea isn't that much better than Arsenal right now. Arguably, yeah, they've got Hazard, but they're not that much better. They've shown that in the league. I mean, they only just scraped top four, and that was only because we were playing terrible and Man United were playing terrible. Otherwise, Chelsea don't have a decent striker now. Any good kind of striker. And plus with the whole transfer ban thing, they've got a lot of stuff in their minds.
Yeah.
Hazard, I think, wants out. I think he's got 1 foot out the door already.
He can't leave, can he?
Yeah, he's not. I think he can. Yeah,
can he leave on the? Oh, they can sell. They just can't buy. Oh, that's damage controlling, isn't it?
It's so funny though, because they're going to lose him. I've got a funny feeling they're going to lose him to Madrid, and then.
Well, that's the thing. They've been saying that Madrid want Pogba as well.
That's true.
And they want Pogba, they want all these players, but they can only really afford to take one.
I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus are all looking at Hazard, and then some of the players in Spurs and some of the players from Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Mo Salah's on his last couple of seasons at Liverpool. As good as he's been, he won't last. Maybe Firmino might go.
I think Firmino will stay.
Yeah.
I think Salah will go. I think what was it? Sané. I think Sané might go.
Oh, Sané might. Yes.
I think Firmino. I rate Firmino in the sense that it's a bit like Leicester when they won the league. They've got a lot of averagey, good, decent players, but together they're world class.
Yeah.
I think if you take Salah and Sané away, I think Firmino's not going to be that great on his own. I think he will stay. I think he will stay. I could see Salah leaving, Kane leaving. I think Madrid will probably. I would imagine Madrid would be seriously looking at Harry Kane because their striking options are a bit low now. Benzema's on his way out, isn't he? So.
Gareth Bale's fallen out of favour.
That's true.
And they obviously lost Ronaldo, who is. Probably the greatest player in world football. I know that's the ongoing debate of the lifetime. Messi or Ronaldo. I don't like either player particularly. I think they're both phenomenal players, but I would go with Ronaldo, and that's only because he's proven himself in 3 leagues.
He's more of a leader as well.
Yeah, but he's got that proven aspect. Like I don't think Messi would hack it in the Premier League as much as people go, nah, he'd tear him apart.
No.
Messi, yes, he gets up from physical contact, but we've noticed Champions Leagues, any Champions League game really Messi's been involved with an English club, he doesn't get himself free much. He's always got someone set for. He scores against teams, but he doesn't have like a blinding game. He might have just an average Messi game and score a goal, which is diabolical to say, really.
If both players are behind 1-0, 2-0, I've got more confidence in Ronaldo
getting us out
geeing them up more than Messi. Messi's not a captain. Yeah, I don't think he's a very quiet guy. Ronaldo will get in your face and yell at you. You do this, you do that. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Whereas Messi's kind of quiet. Doesn't really. He might be louder than I think he is, but he strikes me as a much more introverted guy, much more quieter and a bit more subdued. Whereas Ronaldo would probably be screaming and throwing water bottles everywhere. So yeah, I think going back to predicting the Europa League final, I think we'll win it. I think it'll be tough. I'm not expecting an easy game or a 3-0, 4-0 win. I think it'll be tough. I think Chelsea will be playing for pride and the whole rivalry thing, but I think we'll have more to fight for. I think it'll be 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
Maybe in extra time. I don't think it will go to penalties.
I hope not.
I think we'll probably win it relatively okay, but still, I think we'll still concede. I think we concede every game, but yeah. What about you? What's yours for both Burnley and Chelsea?
Burnley, it's probably going to be a 1-1 draw at Burnley.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not confident going there. I hope we rest players, so I'm hoping for a 1-1 draw, really, because I think they're good enough to keep us to a 1-1 draw. I think our reserves and our subs are good enough to get a win, but probably won't because our form in the Premier League has been so up and down. So, and it's horrible to say you're hoping for a 1-1 draw at least, but that's what I see at the moment. Europa League final, I see a 3-1, and I reckon Aubameyang will score first.
Yeah.
So if anyone's betting, put that down, and you can thank me later. So yeah, I think 3-1. Again, I don't think it'll go to extra time or any of that. I think it will all just be 90 minutes football. I reckon Chelsea might score first. Yeah, because I think they'll be more up for it at the start. They'll just seem more up to it, and then we'll do typical Arsenal fashion. We'll go a goal behind and be, you're right. We'll flick gears now and go through.
We do start games slowly as well. I mean,
yeah.
Hazard especially probably would take advantage of that.
And he'll take advantage of our weaknesses, which is there is no pace in the back line at all at the moment. Unless we got Monreal, obviously we're missing Bellerin still.
He's been a massive loss.
He's been a big loss this year just for speed. Lichtsteiner, he's barely played, I believe, this year.
I think he's leaving, isn't he?
He's probably retiring because I think this was his first year at Arsenal and he's been pretty average.
Put it politely, I think he's been pretty terrible.
Yeah, and then obviously, I'd like to see him start Maitland-Niles for the game though. I think
he's his cross for his goal. He set up Aubameyang.
Yeah,
that was good cross. When was the last time we had a winger knock it into the box and somebody knocks it in?
That's the thing. Bellerin's been trying to do that for years.
He can't do it.
We've seen it. I think he played Hull 1 year, a few years back, and he did do it well. But Bellerin's beautiful thing though, when he does lose the ball, he gets back.
Yeah.
Monreal, I think, again had a good year where he's played. He should start, but it's just who we start. We can't start Mustafi. If we start Mustafi, we might lose 3-1.
Yeah.
As horrible as that is to say, but
yeah, I mean it's weird with Mustafi. He came in, did really well, and then got injured and hasn't showed flickers, but he hasn't really gone back to that level he was. He could have been an amazing defender for us, I think, but I think his time's up. I think we do need to
new centre half. Yeah, definitely a new centre half. Probably possibly two. If we can get hold of two this year.
Any other positions you'd get? You'd get a reinforcement?
Right mid.
Like a winger.
Like a right winger, because at the moment we're playing Mkhitaryan there. And that's pretty tragic. Like, don't get me wrong, Mkhitaryan on his best day, he is a good player. Yeah. But for the level we want to get to.
This season he's been average at most.
I think he showed glimmers against Fulham, and that's Fulham. So And then you're like, well, you're playing Man City next week. Like, do you really want to play Mkhitaryan? I don't. I know what I mean.
It's like we sold Walcott. Walcott wasn't a great player when he left, but it's like we sold him and obviously Chamberlain, and without having a plan of okay, who we're going to play there. And it's like suddenly it's like, well, we don't have any right wingers now. Out and out white wingers.
There's another argument to that as well. That if we make the Champions League, I know he's an old Tottenham boy, and a lot of people wouldn't like him, but they can't deny he's got skill. Gareth Bale wants out of Madrid, so he'll want to come back to the Premier League. I don't think he'll come to Arsenal, probably United or Chelsea, Tottenham. But
the everlasting United link, they're going to buy Bale.
But you know what I mean. Like if we cry out enough money, or if we are in desperate need, he is a player that could come up and. Like, I'm not.
I'd
love him at Arsenal. He's a good player.
If he joined any Premier League club, I think he could well.
He could put them to a championship level straight away. So it's going to be interesting times after Europa League. Transfer window opens up. When that's all done, that'll be fun times for us as fans, and it's always a good time.
It'll be more fun if we get the Champions League. If we win the Europa League, awesome. I think if we win the Europa League, I think we can say that Arsenal and Emery have had a good season.
That's it. Any bit of silverware is good as well, apart from that Capital One Cup, whatever it is. That's just a waste. But the FA Cup, the Emirates Cup, like that's nice. Obviously we've got the rest of those.
Yeah. It's more of a nostalgia, isn't it?
It's got a lot of history, that cup. So ours is a nice place to see us win that, or anyone win that. Winning the Europa League, and then if we win the Europa League, as we say, first European title I think we'll ever have won.
Imagine the lift. We win the Europa League, and it's like, oh, we're back in the Champions League. Yes, but the thing is, the beautiful thing is, we'll have like 2 months of yes, we're back in, but then the week before the league starts, oh no.
And that's the thing though. But if we win the Europa League, do we go straight to the group stages of the Champions League, or do we have to do the knockout round?
No, go straight through.
Okay. So
but I think it knocks out, because I think there's
Chelsea are fourth, so they'd have to do the knockout round regardless. Tottenham are third.
Yeah.
So Tottenham might have to do a knockout round as well.
I was looking online yesterday, was at work actually, looking up on that whole thing, but how many teams from England can be in the Champions League next year? And apparently, if there's loads of different. If Chelsea win it, then it's just going to be the top four.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're already in the top four. But if Arsenal win it, then there's 5.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea go through. I don't know whether. But I think if Arsenal win the Europa League, then that means that 6 and 7
go to Europa.
But if Arsenal don't win it, then us and
6th, which is United.
Yeah.
So either way, 2 big clubs from England.
I wouldn't mind seeing Wolves in the Europa League though. If we get to the Champions League, I want to see Wolves in the Europa League. I think it'd be cool. I think they're a decent team. They've done phenomenally well. I think even arguably better than Leicester when they got promoted. The season Leicester got promoted. They finished like 10th, I think, or 11th or something. To finish 7th in your first season with a manager that hasn't been in the Premier League before, and with a bunch of players that haven't been in the Premier League before either. Most of them are foreign as well. So obviously I've got a soft spot because of Jimenez, but I think he's done well. I think he's like, I've read something that he's the best striker in terms of goals and assists outside of the top 6. And he's the best player. But yeah. Hopefully we get it. I think if we do win it, as we said, it'll be 5 English clubs in the Champions League next year.
That's what we need. That's what we need more.
I mean, especially with England's proved it. The Premier League has proved that we have top level. I mean, we were a bit of a meme for a while where the English clubs couldn't do well, us included. We couldn't do well. Things just seem to have changed. I mean, I know City have improved, Liverpool have clicked and kind of pushed on. But things seem to have changed. The Champions League, I don't know whether it's because I'm not in it, but the Champions League seems easier now than it did when we were in it.
I suppose it always seems easier when other teams are playing because you don't have the emotional attachment. You don't have, like, the year we played Barcelona and obviously I remember Samuel Eto'o coming on and scoring against us. That hurts. But those years, you could arguably say they've lost 10, 15 of the greatest players we'll ever see play the game in that time. Like, there's no more Zidanes, there's no more Ronaldinhos, there's no more, even like you go
Like
Eto,
Iniestas.
Pure, Iniesta, PK is going to be out there soon. Yeah, and you just look at it, you're like, well, some of the players aren't as good there now, but when Arsenal play, we make it look hard. Champions League, we always do. We could get FC Porto, and we'd make that look hard.
Yeah.
And saying that Porto aren't a great team, which they are in their league, they're a good team. But you should never think Porto are going to come in and be a tough task for the likes of an Arsenal.
Well, they did do well in this Champions League. I think they reached the quarters.
Yeah, they did.
So they did all right.
Very well.
But yeah, as I say, there's no comparison between us and the Portuguese or any of them. I think Bayern Munich have gone way down. Juventus should have done much better than they did. You'd think with the squad they have, adding Ronaldo, I had Juventus in the final.
I had them winning it. I put them at the start of the season. I thought Juve would win the league or the Champions League.
I didn't think Liverpool would get another final. I thought last season
ruined it last. Yeah. Hopefully they haven't got Karius anymore, have they? Or Liverpool?
Who?
Karius. The old
they
haven't got him. They can't have his curse again.
Glorious. No, I think they loaned him out. They haven't sold him. They loaned him somewhere. But that was funny.
Yeah.
Who's their goalkeeper now? Alisson,
yeah.
I always think that he's City goalkeeper for some reason.
No,
even though I know
Edison.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It shows you how much I follow Liverpool and City.
Yeah, I say father's Liverpool fan, follow the household. Yeah. So it's been a fun year.
Yeah. But anyway, I just want to finish up by thanking you again.
No, thank you.
It's nice to have you on. Probably have you on again.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the special episode. I wanted to get a bit of a guest on, especially as Arsenal's kind of getting into an important part of their season now. I wanted to get an Arsenal fan on, one of my good friends from Arsenal and from Australia. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoy the video, if you want to see more. Obviously, got my Mexican Facebook channel, El Daman 86 Football Mexicano. Follow me on Twitter, at LDaman86. Do you have a Twitter?
Not one I've ever used, no.
Oh, okay. No. That's right. But Ash is cool though. He's on, add him on Facebook. He's cool. Hopefully bring you more another episode probably next week. Probably a little bit more of a Chivas episode because they've obviously got their new manager. I want to talk a bit about that. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back soon. Take it easy.